Hello everyone, I am PyroFalkon and this is Monster Rancher 4. We are continuing to explore the Kalaragi jungle to try to find the lost mochis. So, we did some AMA questions in the last episode. We're going to continue that. Both Mad Dog 187 and Cobalt Cody? Yes, Cobalt Cody. Both asked forms of the question, where do I stand on the console wars? What do I think of the next-gen systems coming out? So I am not a gamer who pays much attention to the gaming hype anymore. I think that's personality, although I know part of it is fatigue. That if you look at the gaming news at any moment, a large chunk of gaming news in any moment is going to be hype for the next game, the next console, the next toy, the next app, the next frickin' peripheral. That's the word I was looking for. And I just don't care, which is not to say I don't necessarily want to stay blind. I mean, and I especially, I will hear secondhand from fans and sometimes just Google telling me when there's a thing that I might be interested in, like the new Metal Gear Solid is going to be remade and released. No, it's turning into a movie, right? Someone's making a movie of Metal Gear, and also Konami's going to remake the original Metal Gear Solid and re-release it on the new console, new gen, I think is what's going on. Anyway, so that's fine, but I prefer caring when a game comes out, or a system comes out, and one of the upsides to that is I don't get disappointed. Like, I wasn't disappointed in No Man's Sky because I hadn't heard of the damn thing until it came out. So, you know, all the broken promises and all that was just kind of after the fact, and I was able to judge the game on its own merits. Although now I'm straying off topic. So, as far as the console wars are concerned, I have not paid that much attention to that either. Although I will more than likely stick with the PlayStation only because I have a PlayStation 4, and I want to keep that library of games. One of our mods is pure Xbox, and that's fine. I don't care. I don't take sides. Even back in the day when I was young and Nintendo versus Sega was this thing that would get punches thrown at you on the playground, I just didn't care. Because even back then, on some level, I know these are just toys. Who cares? Now, that said, I understand, like, ease of use, the libraries, the feature sets, I get it, and I don't know which is better because I haven't really paid attention to the Xbox. So, I think my mod said that the new Xbox is fully backward compatible to the One, the 360, and the original? Maybe? Like, pretty much out of the box, and that's cool. Because I remember when the PS5 was first announced, there were rumors it was going to be backward compatible all the way to PS1. As in, you could put in a disc from any generation of PlayStation, and it would be able to play it. That, of course, has turned out to be not true, unfortunately. But I don't care, I guess. Exclusives, exclusives don't really matter much anymore. I think the only exclusive I really know of on the PS5 is Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was a good game, but So there aren't really all that many exclusives I'm excited about. The feature sets are going to be about identical. About the only reason I would really stick with the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation family, is, again, I've got a ton of games on my PS4. And from what I gather, most, if not all, PS4 games are compatible with the PS5. I've bought Yakuza, again, keep going back to it, great series. I think all 7 games of the main series are compatible with it, and I assume the other 2 are, the 2 spin-offs are. So, It just would be more convenient for me. But even if I bought a new Xbox, if I chose to buy the Xbox Series S or whatever it's called, that is what it's called, right? Over a PS5, then that doesn't mean the PS4 is useless. I still have a PS4. So it's not a huge deal. Although either way, I don't care about upgrading right now because I already spent way too much money getting a new computer this year, and the PS5 currently does not have enough games for me to justify the purchase, so it doesn't matter. And whenever you have a first wave of hardware, there's always problems. So I usually try to wait a year anyway before I get a new console. But I do like the competition. I think that they need to have competition because competition drives both sides to do better. So, you know, and of course Nintendo's doing its own thing, which is great. They're not, I don't even think they're in the same freaking, I mean, they're in the same industry, but they're not in, they're tapping a slightly different audience in the Venn diagram. So they can do whatever they want. I really like the Switch. You know, it's fine. I'm sure by this time next year I'll have a PS5 probably, because I'm going to get it at some point just for the show and for the upgrade. Final Fantasy XIV is probably going to run a hell of a lot better on a PS5 than a PS4. So I'll probably get it. Just I don't care right now. Unless one or the other console has some sort of massive interesting feature, then that might sway me. Because I remember at Squirrel Hog's apartment, I've seen an Xbox One operate, and man, its interface is cleaner than a PS4, it loads faster than a PS4, it acts faster than a PS4. I don't know, it just, from an end-user standpoint, the Xbox One is a superior functioning product to the PS4, but I got the PS4 because it didn't have the dumb nonsense that was marketed, and it was cheaper at the time. So, who knows? I'm not loyal. I don't care. I'll switch or not switch depending on, you know, the feature set and such. Okay, next question comes from Chaos Lord, who asks, do I think the whole COPPA thing with YouTube is ridiculous? Kinda. So for those who don't know, COPPA, I'll have to get the... Oh, man. Why can't I remember what it stands for? It's Child Something Protection Act. That is why a lot of things on YouTube have changed over the last year. Why we can't swear within the first 30 seconds of a video, although we can. So it's fine. I just don't. The Chaos Lord's specific example is to talk about the Game Grumps, because he is a huge fan of the Game Grumps, and mentions that things were different in the pre-COPPA era, where sometimes the hosts would just open by screaming a bunch of swear words, and that was, I guess, funny. I mean, I'm a fan of the Game Grumps too, but I don't find that particular thing funny. But that's just different strokes for different folks. But Chaos Lord did make one mistake where at the end of his comment he said, if you don't deal with COPPA, YouTube deletes their channel. At least that's how I think it goes. That's kind of a reductive relationship between COPPA and the punishment for it. Essentially, all it means, for those of us who produce videos, we have to now state on our end whether the video is for children or not. If we say that the video is for children, then comments are banned, and chats are banned, and searches are reduced, and there's a few other things that go into effect, including ads. I don't think they're demonetized, but you do lose a lot of money if you say your video is for kids. And there's additional laws you have to follow. And then if you say your video is not for kids, then you cannot then operate it with childlike attraction. So, for example, one of the things that COPPA is supposed to protect against is this idea of like saying, I have a SpongeBob video, and then you load up the video and it's just SpongeBob swearing a bunch and then just raw fucking Patrick. Probably shouldn't have put that image in your head. So what they want to do is they want to protect children from basically being lied to and seeing a video that is against what they clicked on. And unfortunately, what happened was YouTubers who don't read the fine print or think and instead just react too quick to care didn't see that there were provisions to protect you, even as a creator, as long as you follow the rules. The internet does not need to be anarchy, and private corporations like YouTube do not need to be anarchy. So I did see when COPPA was announced, a lot of people were like, I'm going to delete my channel, I don't want to be arrested. And I was like, good, delete your channel, because then I have less competition on YouTube. Seriously. Because that wasn't it. Anyone who suddenly got paranoid lost the plot. And then there were those YouTubers who thought that to ensure that their videos were not made for kids, would swear a ton at the beginning of the video. They'd be like, fuck, 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 fuck. See, now this video isn't for kids, so you shouldn't be here. Go away. And that is also the wrong way to do it, because then advertisers aren't going to like your video either. In fact, actually, I conflated two issues. The don't swear within the first 30 seconds of the video has nothing to do with COPPA. That is an advertiser thing. It has nothing at all to do with COPPA. But they have been conflated because YouTube, when YouTube started cracking down on COPPA, they also started cracking down on other things. So a lot of the other things and COPPA got conflated. But they have nothing to do with each other. So, do I think it's bullshit or ridiculous? Not really. It's just a rule we have to live by. And the best businessmen are the ones who adapt. And the Game Grumps adapted. I mean, you can love or hate the Game Grumps, but, you know, they've even said publicly that a lot of the changes they've made to their show is based on YouTube's new rules and algorithm changes and that kind of thing. I think Danny even bluntly said, anything you hate, we hate too, we just have to do it so we stay employed. And that's the thing. Like, YouTube doesn't owe us anything. We are not entitled to YouTube. YouTube is a private corporation. They can set their own damn rules, and they can do whatever they want, and if I don't like it, I can just leave and go somewhere else. And granted, if I were to do that, I wouldn't have a career anymore, but that's the price you pay. I mean, we all do it. I worked at Walmart, and they have a simple requirement for uniforms. Wear the navy blue shirt and black or brown pants. Like, what am I gonna do? Show up in plaid and be like, you can't tell me what to do? It doesn't matter. And I think it's overblown. But the best business people are the ones who can adapt to anything thrown at them. We are flexible, and we know how to stem the tide, and I believe I am fairly bulletproof, because although I do swear a bunch and my videos are not for kids, I'm also not a lunatic like the Leafies of YouTube or whatever. And again, swearing isn't forbidden. You just don't do it for the first 30 seconds to 60 seconds. It's not that hard. I've gone a lot longer than that without swearing, usually around my mom or other family members. So, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And honestly, if you call yourself a comedian and you can't evolve with changing times or changing rules, then you're not really much of a comedian. That means you're a comedian for one very specific moment in time. It's not... It's not a reflection on society. There was that argument, like Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock both don't play universities anymore, and the reason they say that is like, oh, comedy isn't good anymore, it's not funny anymore, audiences don't have a sense of humor anymore. No, that's not it. Society's frickin' changed. So either write better jokes or get the fuck out. That's why you don't have comics recycling 1920s material because we aren't in a 1920s society anymore. And there are plenty of funny comics. And there's plenty of funny things, online and off. So to comics who want to bitch about COPPA, I say get good, scrub. Because I have to deal with COPPA, and I've been doing this longer than the Game Grumps. So it's not a big deal. Alright, KJ Friend has a quickie, which is good, because we only have 4.5 minutes left. Who asks, how's my exercise and eating been lately? It's been shit. I don't eat well and I don't exercise. Because I am a lazy dude, and I know that is going to bite me in the ass eventually, and I understand it's going to bite me in the ass eventually. I am making a conscious choice not to take care of myself as well as I should. That said, one of my biggest problems is eating out, and I need to stop that. But money is tight, so that's helpful to help me keep it in check. So, yeah, man. I've noticed that when I eat out less, I feel better, and I look better, and I feel better. Right now, part of my problem is everything I do is indoors. Because when I worked at Walmart, I biked 4 miles a day, and that really kept me in shape. I was still pudgy, but a lot of the weight was also my legs, because, man, I could crack a walnut with my thighs. Like, my legs were crazy strong, and there wasn't an ounce of fat on them. For me, because bodies are always different for everybody, for me, my fat settles in my stomach and my pecs, or moobs, if you will. Although apparently the Akamura would argue that I don't have them. I beg to differ, but whatever. My point is that I don't look as heavy as I am, and that's because my fat settles in certain areas of my body. But now, since I've quit Walmart, and all of my jobs involve sitting, and they're indoors, and sometimes, especially for streaming, I stream for very long amounts of time, so that's sitting and not doing anything. I'm constantly moving and shifting in my chair, which helps. But as far as actual exercising, I don't do it, and I know I should. If I had a ground floor apartment, I would have a treadmill, and I would use the shit out of the treadmill. Because the nice thing about a treadmill in my office is that I could still work while still being on the treadmill. Part of the reason I don't like exercising or, say, going for walks is because I can't get anything accomplished while I'm outside walking. Which, I know that sounds kind of like a shit excuse, but it's true. Like, I want to work. I want to do things. And exercising is not doing the thing that's helping me with my career. So, if I had a treadmill, I could walk while watching YouTube or even responding to comments. And without accidentally wandering in front of a car. So, but unfortunately I have a downstairs neighbor. Actually, no, I don't anymore, but I will eventually have a downstairs neighbor. And I can't bring a treadmill up here. Plus, I'm on a 3rd story, and that's going to be unpleasant getting a treadmill up here. So, maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll be able to move out of this apartment. Hopefully with your generous donations, which you can make through PayPal or Patreon. And, that's not entirely just me being an asshole. For real, like, if the channel does not pay for itself, and if the channel pays for itself one day, then we can move out and get a better apartment or even a house, and I can start taking better care of myself. But right now I don't have the money, so it is what it is. Alright, we have 30 seconds left. Here's a nice quick one. Related to the last topic. Kalo asks, what feature should be in every console generation? Backwards compatibility. For damn sure. He also cites disc or cartridge slots, etc. That sort of goes with it, but backwards compatibility. Because I would be a lot less hesitant to buy a PS5 if I knew that every single game I owned on a PS4, and 3, and 2, and 1 were going to be immediately compatible right out of the box. Because then I wouldn't even have to... I wouldn't have a reason to wait on it. I'd frickin' buy it day one. I would deal with the shitty hardware, because then I would know that this entire library of games I already have doesn't immediately become useless as soon as I drop $300, $400, $500 on a new plastic box. So, backward compatibility. Do it. Get on it. Even the PC has it. You can run programs in compatibility mode. I have a game called Free Enterprise that doesn't work on Windows 10, but I just set it to run with Windows XP compatibility, and it works 100% fine. Friggin' backwards compatibility, god damn it. All the time, till the day we die. That's going to do it for today, and tomorrow's episode will finish exploring the jungle, get mochis, and get sad. Thank you all very much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow for another episode.